woods, and me and a couple of my buddies went out there, and we're detecting out there, and I got this coin, and I yelled, "Hey, I got a horse copper." I didn't know what it was at first, but I remember, seeing it in the red book, and when I got home, I looked it up, and I'm like, "Oh wow, that's what it is." And apparently, there's like under 100 that exist, so that was pretty exciting. So.
Oh my gosh, rare.
Yeah, one of those coins that's like on the list, or maybe not even on the list, but now that you've heard it, you're like, "Ooh, I must add it to the list."
Right.
Oh yeah.
Man, that is so cool.
So what machine are you using swinging nowadays?
I use the MindLab Safari still, and I use the Technetics T2.
Awesome.
So I mix it up a little bit depending where I am. In the woods, I seem to like the Technetics a little bit more. It seems to go a little bit deeper, works a little bit better around the iron.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess you hunt a lot of iron patches and around those cellar holes. I remember hearing on quite a bit of iron that time we went with you.
Oh, yeah.
To hunt around the cellar holes.
It's funny. I was just telling that story. I'm like, so it must have been the time before you brought us out, and you're like, "Oh, there's this place you can dig," and you went out with us for a little bit, and then I think you had to go. I think your son had football or something, so you left, and we dug for a few more hours, and then Gypsy and I called it quits, and because we knew we had to get up early to continue on our travels. And then the next day we were out treasure hunting, and you were like, and you sent a picture of like the 3 coppers you got from the other side of the path from where we were detecting.
We were just like not far at all, and you went back and the other side, and boom, boom, boom. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, no, it was a mass copper. I think it was a King George. I think it was a draped bust, and they're pretty much all within probably 10 feet of that little path.
Yep, right on the other side of where we were. So I was I was just telling
we were on the wrong side of the fence.
But that's what happens. I mean, and we were out there for quite a few hours. It's where you walk, right?
It was fun.
Oh yeah, you just gotta kind of picture how it was back then and where they might have went and traveled to. And, the areas near the hole obviously are going to be, the most activity, but you never know which path they took in or where their fields were. And, just trying to figure out some of that stuff and looking for some of those flat areas or hilly areas or the slopes or whatever it may be.
Right.
So awesome.
I guess you learn a lot too from generally how far from those rock walls. I know that y'all have all these rock walls where y'all are, and you can find the cellar hole. And how far are the rock walls usually, or does it just depend on the property from like the homestead?
It depends on the property. Typically, when you get closer to the cellar hole, there's usually the bigger rock walls, and the other ones are more property markers, or more for the animals, and they're a little bit further away, a little more crude. So as you notice the walls getting built up more and more, you're typically getting closer to that property.
Okay. Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah. The stone walls.
Might need to...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Amanda.
We've got an overlap tonight on you and I.
Sorry. I was just going to say, I might need to know that information if I move that way,
Absolutely.
Well, we can certainly help with that. That's not a problem.
Then I'd have a digging buddy, so that would be cool.
Oh, man. I know.
And I've got plenty of spots you can go to, so...
And hey,
that's what's tough is usually. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Maine's not that far, so you could live in Maine and then
head down.
That's
true. Live in between Maine and Rhode Island, so I guess live in New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire's not bad.
Massachusetts. I think Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts is probably the better of the 3.
That's the smallest one, huh?
Uh, no, not really. It's actually
Or is
Massachusetts is pretty
Rhode
good.
Island is
Rhode Island,
smaller, isn't it?
yes, Rhode Island is the
The
smallest of them.
smallest. Okay.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep,
Okay.
it sure is. There, hey, but it's all of New England is great. So, you know,
Oh yeah, totally.
all of New
Ah, the
England's
history.
great. So, why don't we get into it? So you're putting on a hunt, Scott.
Yes. About a month and a half ago, it started. One of my employees, her daughter got sick. They ended up taking her up to the hospital, and they found it was a stage 3 ependymoma. So, they removed the tumor, and she's still going to have months of radiation. So I know the family's struggling. I thought, what could I do to help out? And I figured I could put on a charity hunt. So I went to one of these places that I detected in the past a little bit, up the street, actually from my parents' house, and asked them for permission to use this farm, 100 acres. It's all the original buildings on this late 1700s farmhouse. There's outhouses, sheds, the barn. There used to be an old coffin shop that still exists. So it's got a really neat history to it, 6 fields around it. It's just an awesome property. It's actually been in their family for generations since the inception of it.
Wow.
So I'm looking to hopefully get around 150 people to come out to this event. There's going to be one field that's going to be seated. I'm going to have raffles, prizes after, but it should be a great time. You get to meet a lot of other detectorists and and get a good shot at a lot of colonial history too, because there have been some really good relics there, coins there. I dug a Spanish real there. And on 100 acres, I certainly have not cleaned out those fields or anywhere in the woods. So there's a lot of opportunity for some great stuff.
Plus, it's the fall, which is
Wow.
usually, for New England, it's some of the best time to detect.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be Saturday, October 19th?
Yep, Saturday, October 19th. Registration will start at 8 a.m. Hunt will start at 9 a.m. We'll break for lunch around 12. I'll do some raffles then, and then after lunch will be the seeded hunt. Or if you don't want to participate in the seeded hunt, you can continue on in the fields and do more natural hunting.
Awesome. Awesome. And then for people to get a hold of you, again, this is a hunt in Rhode Island. If they have more questions or how to, acquire a ticket, how would they go about doing that?
Can certainly reach out and email me. It's SLANNAN72@cox.net. Or you can reach me by phone. My number is 401-743-9171. Call or text is fine. Or you can find me on Facebook too, Scott Lannan. Any one of those 3 options, I'm more than happy to reply to, and I usually get back to people pretty quick on this.
So you said it's SLANNAN
72@cox.net.
At cox.net. Perfect. All right. Well, for one, we already have our tickets. I'm not sure if I will be allowed to dig, but still planning on getting down there, supporting Scott, supporting this little girl and their family. Should be fun. Rhode Island is a blast to be. And it's not too far, so I love it.
No, and it's pretty easy to
Well, I
access. It's
can't
right
wait.
off one of the main highways going through Rhode Island, so it's about a mile off that. So.
Well, I can't wait. Number one, I get to see all the wonderful people, and what a great cause, Scott. Thank you for doing that. That's amazing. That is simply amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's what this hobby's all about, is giving back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know, I was saying earlier, I'm going through my relics and stuff and putting together, a box of cool stuff to go into the ground for the seeded hunt portion of that. Always got some neat stuff. So that will be headed out to Scott as well. later. And if you
I
have
certainly
questions,
appreciate it.
yeah, if you have questions on that, or anybody, if you have stuff that you want to donate and maybe put towards this hunt, you can absolutely, you could reach out to me and I can help get you in touch, or I can get you an address to send some stuff on. So I know you're going to try to do some raffles too, you had said, right? Around lunchtime?
Yep, still working on some of that. I've got one detector lined up. I've got a pinpointer lined up. I've got a few other things so far. So kind of in the early stages of that.
Yeah.
I also work for a large liquor store, so I'm trying to work some things on that side too. And I'm hoping maybe I can get some tickets to a sporting event, a concert, something like that to, draw a little bit more interest. So I'm still working on that, and I'll have a bunch of things there. That's for sure.
It's awesome. And
Oh,
you're
wonderful.
capping it at 150. You said you're already a little over 30, and it's only been 2
Yep,
days? 3 days.
3 days in so far.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. So if you're really,
That's
thinking about this
fantastic.
hunt, I'd say pull the trigger.
And like I said, everything is going to charity other than the expense of the insurance policy, the porta potty, and probably some coffee and donuts in the morning, and everything else is going to go to help this family. So
Awesome.
And it is a one-day hunt, correct?
1 day hunt. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but come down for the weekend. If you can. I mean, I
Right.
know for a lot of people, the
Yeah,
travel,
and
the hotel, and go ahead.
and for anybody that
And
wants to
where
come
will
down for the
be a good...
weekend, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to ask, I know a lot of people have been asking me, where's a good place to stay? Some places close by. There's some certain hotels you think that might be within close proximity to the hunt site that people might want to check in on?
Yeah, the best bet is probably right over the line in Connecticut, I would say, or if you get into like the Johnston area in Rhode Island. Either of those are about 15 minutes away from the site. Foster is a pretty rural town. I think there's only a couple little small hotels there, so you'd probably be better off a little bit further away.
Okay. I think, I don't know how far it is from where we were at last time, but I think Amanda and I stayed in Connecticut, correct?
Yeah, we weren't far from
Amanda?
Mystic. We were right over, right
Okay.
over the border in
Yeah.
Rhode Island.
Well, once we stayed,
Mystic could
right
put you about
in
45 minutes away.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, okay, so it's a little far. Okay. Not too bad, though.
Well, like I was saying, for anybody that wants to come out and make a weekend of it, and the hunt's only the 1 day, if anybody needs some spots at the end of the hunt nearby and is willing to travel, I can certainly provide lots of spots within the town that I've had great success at, and I know there's still more stuff out there. So more than happy to share.
Okay. Wonderful.
And Scott is true to his word on that. She shares spots
Yes,
every
he
single
is.
time. Even if we don't get to them, he shares spots. It's like, hey, and just to make us, go, maybe we should have stopped.
Right.
But yeah, excited to see everybody. It's, I think it's 2 weekends before your hunt, Gypsy? 2 weekends,
Is it
3
before or
weekends?
after? I can't even remember. It's the 19th.
October.
It's what? October 19th?
Yeah, so it's 2 weeks before.
Okay, yeah, 2 weeks before.
2 weeks before the Texas hunt.
And I'm sure I'll be able to bring some stuff for you. I'm still working on my caches that I'm making, and I'm sure I'll have plenty, left that I can donate and bring Scott. Plus, I'll bring some of my books to give away.
Ooh, yeah.
That you can use for
beautiful.
whatever.
You're going to autograph them, though, right?
Of course. I will.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah,
no problem.
Got to get some autograph books. I think I've got a brand new diamond tester. I've got a whole bunch of military buttons, like in good condition. I found a gold pin I might send down too.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got stuff going everywhere, so I got to look and go, okay, gold's going here, silver's going there. It's always fun, and it
Yeah, and I've
helps.
got quite a bit myself I'm going to be putting in the ground too, because in 14 years of digging, I've
Yeah.
got quite the collection here, and I'm willing to put as much as possible to make it as good of an event to help out the family. So
Plus, you're friends with a dig dog Bowden, so